and welcome to the Daily Brown Bag. Today we're going to be answering the question of whether Facebook can be the next Google of mobile. I'm Chad Hill and I'm joined by Adam Stetzer.
Hey, good afternoon, Chad. Welcome to the Brown Bag. So Facebook is trying to carve out its place here, and we've got some interesting stats to kick off the discussion, Chad, about what its potential really is and whether Facebook can become the Google of mobile. There are currently 1.3 billion monthly active users on Facebook, and 600 million of them are active via mobile, so that's pretty high penetration. There are over 1 million advertisers currently on the platform, and nearly 60% of Facebook's revenue comes from mobile ads, also a key statistic, with year-over-year growth of over 61% from mobile users on the platform. So that's the backdrop here, Chad, and so what's the discussion today?
Yeah, well, I think that this is, in some ways, something that Facebook really has always had a much better insight into. All that information about customers, what they like and don't like. And Forrester has coined this sort of idea of this infinite amount of targeting information as the database of infinity. So this really sounds, Adam, like a good topic for another brown bag. But for today, what we really want to talk about is how, all this great information that Facebook's been trying to figure out whether how they can get people to advertise on Facebook when people really are there to talk to their friends and see what other people are doing. But what we're hearing here and seeing here is that for the first time how Facebook really wants to use that data to actually let people target ads outside of Facebook, whether that's on a mobile device and maybe down the road even back on just the regular old desktop browser. So some pretty exciting stuff here, and I do think, Adam, it seems like all that information people are sharing with the right amount of crunching and analysis really could lead to some insights that you can't get just from browser intent or other ways of targeting people today.
Well, yeah, and I feel like we've been talking about this for 5 or 6 years, Chad, that the gold mine of data that Facebook's sitting on is really astronomical. And you think about some of the ways they can do that. So they can target people across apps based on what you've shared in Facebook. So a brand can advertise even on third-party apps based on some of this data and just the level of targeting. As you said, you're there for other reasons, social reasons, but you're surrendering a certain amount of data on that social graph that they understand very, very well and can understand a fair amount about you and then choose to show ads that, and we've done some primary research on this ourselves, Chad, right, that certain types of advertising people actually find helpful and they don't even remember it necessarily as advertising, thinking back to some of our surveys we've done of consumers over the last few months. So, Facebook, I think they are positioned to perhaps become the Google of mobile if they don't mess it up, and they're so large and so embedded, it seems like they probably won't, but I'd be interested in your take on that.
Yeah, well, I think this is, there really is maybe a line at which we're approaching here, and I know that just recently on the political side of things that, Obama actually came out and was talking about how, along with the NSA regulations, they might want to look back at some of the data that private companies are gathering. So it is certainly interesting. There is a treasure trove of information. It's probably scary what really smart people can do with all that information. Certainly from an advertising standpoint, probably not going to harm you too bad, but I do think, Adam, that the time has been sort of coming for a long time, but you have to think the tools are getting better, and we are getting closer to some pretty powerful targeting opportunities here.
And you raised some interesting points on the privacy side, and we've discussed those as well. And we know Facebook is struggling with the key younger demographic, which is very tuned into those things that you're saying I don't want this on my, quote, permanent internet record. And we see actually usage dropping in some of those lower age brackets. And we've seen some addition, and we've discussed Snapchat and some of these places the younger users are going. So you're right, there are some headwinds there in terms of privacy, but hopefully they'll figure out a way to work through it and maybe become the Google of mobile. We don't know. We'd be interested in your thoughts. Thanks for joining us today. Drop us a comment if this was useful. We hope to see you back at another Brown Bag.